After 100 years, why are we still pushing for more? Because at Thomas More, we're inspired to help you create and live a fuller life. That means creating more opportunities for you inside the classroom and out. Programs that lead to something more than a job, a fulfilling career, and expecting more from our faculty and staff to help give you the opportunity to become the remarkable person you were created to be. Thomas More University. Make it more.
There's a beat in all of us. It drives us, it inspires us, and it pushes us through. It is there in preparation, it is there in battle, it is there in defeat and success. It's the engine, it's our guide. And this beat is my own. This beat is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water, hydration for athletes.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tyson Event Center here in Sioux City, Iowa, as we have this semifinal matchup between the Central Methodist Eagles and the Thomas More Saints. I'm Connor Ryan. Joined alongside me here tonight is Justin Barker, also more affectionately known as JB. JB, how are we doing tonight?
I am excited as heck for this game, Connor. This is going to be a wonderful matchup.
It certainly is. You're looking at the Thomas More Saints, last year's defending champs. They are trying to make it back to the championship game for a third consecutive season. Central Methodist, the Eagles, the undefeated Eagles at that, they're looking to get there for the first time.
These are two teams that score a bunch of points. They turn you over. They create issues for you offensively. They want to turn their defense into offense. They both give up less than 60 points a game. Central Methodist 83. Thomas More scores 77 a game. These are high-powered offenses, excellent defenses. So what you know about both of these teams is they're fundamentally sound. They fall into their system. They try to control the ball game. So the team that is maybe able to control the better part of this ball game, I think has the edge in winning at the end of the day.
And honestly, it's not like you look at the last games these two teams played and said, all right, that one has a distinct advantage. Both of them were able to survive in advance out of that quarterfinal round. CMU had a tough time with Marion, and Montana Western gave Thomas More a run for their money as well.
Yeah, they did, and both of these teams know that when you get to this point of the tournament, everything's going to be hotly contested. Although Thomas More did have a rather easy victory in the round of 16. But these two teams know they've had the target on their back all season long, so it's nothing new playing in a game where you're going to get the best of the other team. However, I think this is maybe one of the few games of the season where you truly are getting the best of the best on the other side.
Certainly seeing the best of the best. Let's get you the starters real quick for this. We'll start with the Central Methodist Eagles. Darren Bakarova from Minsk, Belarus, the senior guard. Zatura Cook, she is a sophomore guard out of Marietta, Georgia, the Defensive Player of the Year in the Heart of America Conference. Jasha Kennedy, Leanna Messinat, she's the leading scorer in the Conference Player of the Year in the Heart of America. She's a sophomore guard from Trent, New Jersey, and Leah Johnson, a sophomore forward from New Jersey. And for the defending champ Saints, it's Riley Turner, a small forward from Highland Heights, Kentucky. Courtney Hurst, a 5A guard from Burlington, Kentucky. She's a senior. Zoe Barth, the leading scorer for this Saints team. She's from Fort Thomas, Kentucky. A guard that stands at 5'8". Emily Simon, a 5'11" senior. She's from Hilliard, Ohio. And then Rachel Martin, a junior guard, 5'4", from Cincinnati. As we're about ready to tip this one off. Again, should be a good one. Two #1 seeds, the Eagles and Saints. And we're off and running. It is the Eagles that will control the ball first. And Kennedy will bring it up the floor as she usually does. Driving to the baseline, a kick to the corner, and a three on the way. And that's going to be knocked down by Messinat. She gets off to her quick scoring pace, averages 17 a game. That was a two. Okay.
Long two for Nana Messinat over in the corner, but she will have no issue shooting from anywhere throughout the night.
Well, we'll probably see her knock down 3 at some point here tonight. Driving with the right hand and unable to get to the shot to go as she was being guarded by Kennedy. Kennedy gives it up to Messinat. We'll watch her work. She drives, floater with the left hand, gets her own miss, can't get that to go, tried to tap it back up. It'll be ripped out of her hands by Thomas Moore in through the baseline.
And
with the Eagles.
Connor, it only took a possession for Central Methodist to show one of their true strengths, and that's offensive rebounding.
Yeah, Messinat showed that right there, followed her own miss on the little floater. A dribble drive, a stop. Here's a 3 from Messinat. Got that one to go.
She's their leading scorer, the player of the year in the Heart of America Athletic Conference, averaging 17 points a game, but you just know that she could go for 30 or 35 on any given night.
Only a sophomore as well. That's impressive.
You know, this whole tournament, I haven't really noticed that and put it into my crawl that, oh boy.
Yeah, enjoy that for another couple of years, why don't you? The Eagles an early 5-0 lead. The Saints still looking for their first bucket of the game. And they'll throw up a 3. Why not? Rattle it home. Courtney Hurst able to knock it down, a senior from Burlington, Kentucky.
Hurst is a terrific shooter, and we've watched her since this tournament has gone to a 1 division, and they've come here to Sioux City with with Thomas More Saints. She can shoot from anywhere. She's great at scoring her shoulders and making baskets.
Victoria Cook with the nice finish. Again, the Defensive Player of the Year in the Heart of America Conference. A very good conference. We will see the Clark Pride in the same conference on the other side of the semifinal bracket. The 3 will not fall, and the rebound eventually ends up into the hands of the Eagles. Cook brings it down, then Messinat throws up a shot from the corner, and she's able to knock down another one in rhythm.
When she gets on track, she just takes over a game, and we'll see how long she uses her face mask here today. She got a little upset the other day and ripped it off and then scored about 10 points in a row. So if she's feeling well shooting with it on, oh boy.
Looking like Rip Hamilton so far. Nice kick to the corner. And a 3 on the way. Does not fall. Messinat comes down with the rebound. She can pull him down as well. She averages about 5 a game. A quick 3 is going to be a little off to the left for Bakarova. And here come the Saints rather quickly, trailing by 6. Well, both teams got on the board quicker than Iowa State did today, huh?
Yeah, that baffled me when I saw the score.
You're telling me.
I had Pitt winning in my bracket.
Same. Kick to the corner, and a 3 for the Saints is too long for Riley Turner. It'd be interesting to see how the 4 teams tonight here, JB, fare after the day off yesterday. Eagles seem rather very well refreshed after that day off. Messinat steps into another 3, this time from the wing, and she misses long.
Well, I think you're just seeing a little extra hop in their step today after 2 days, a very good battle, but
long there. Hurst can't connect after she hit the 3 earlier. The only bucket so far the Saints have made early on in this one. We are at past 3.5 minutes played in this semifinal game. And a foul on our first one of the night. It's going to go against Barth, the leading scorer for Thomas More.
I happened to be here early Wednesday, Connor, and was watching Central Methodist go through their early game preparations like an hour plus before the game. And the coaching staff was joking around with the ladies. They were laughing, they were loose, and it kind of set the tone for the way they played on Wednesday. They don't play panicked basketball at all, and I think that helps even more with a day of rest here, that they're just loose, and they know that if they play their game, they can beat anybody. It was kind of fun to watch, actually, with all the smiles. That's a huge foul. That's Massinat's second.
That is her second. A fantastic charge taken by Emily Simon. Moved her feet, was able to plant it. Messinat put the forearm into her gut, and Simon hits the deck and able to draw, like you said, JB, that second foul on Messinat, who's got 7 of the 9 so far for Central Methodist.
And the other thing for CMU is they don't go terribly deep on their bench, so that might create some issues for Coach Davis.
A pump fake from the top of the key, and an elbow jumper misses off to the right. Rebound falls into the hands of Cook. This is an Eagles team that the starting 5 on the court, they know each other very well. They've had the exact same starting 5 in every game this year except for 2 random games in the middle of January. As there's an offensive rebound for the Eagles, but then a tie-up on the floor.
The middle of flu season.
Right, in the middle of flu season.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Possession arrow goes the way of the Saints.
The thing we're noticing early here for Thomas More, the way that they like to shoot the three-pointer, and that is just about every possession, they've got to work it inside and try to get better opportunities because they're one and done every time so far.
I didn't call the game, but I watched it. They're, like you said, somewhat easier victory so far. Nice take by Simon after she drew the foul earlier. That's a good take to get the Saints their second bucket. I watched that game against the Cumberlands, granted a team they knew very well. That is a 3rd foul on Massanet, 2nd offensive foul. That is going to force the hand of Mike Davis, the Heart of America Coach of the Year, to pull his star player.
You got to do what you got to do in this position. Luckily for them, you know, Robin Beck will come in and will play just about every position. We've seen her do that in the first 2 games. And Spiegel will come into the ball game here, Connor, and she played very good minutes, but they have to now they have to find their other scoring options.
So Natalia Spiegel from Montebello, California, senior guard, takes over for, and a 3 on the way. Just doesn't connect, and a rebound yanked down by Kennedy.
Smith was really good off the bench the other day, Connor. She had 19, I think it was, in the the quarterfinal round.
That was a nice pass inside as Satoria Cook as she somehow threaded the needle to Leah Johnson, who averages a double-double on the season. 14 points, 11 boards. A 6'3" sophomore from Ewing, New Jersey, which, again, another sophomore, another talented sophomore in the CMU roster.
She's excellent.
Dancing around, Cook gets it down to Johnson in the paint. Immediately gives it, boy, she just drew a crowd as soon as she touched the ball. The shot doesn't fall. Johnson gets it, puts it on the floor. It is going to be stripped, and we have another jump ball. This time the possession arrow goes the way of Methodist.
With a team as good defensively as Thomas More is, she's got to be a little extra careful with the basketball because she does kind of put it out there to have the ability to be stripped like she was there.
I was going to say, no one else really matches up with her size, and that's a nice move. Underneath the basket by Satoria Cook. A transfer from Georgia Tech. Averages usually about 3.5 steals a game. Very active and quick hands, but shows them off there to get around the mess in the baseline and a whistle the other way. And going to the line to shoot 2, Alex Smith, who has checked into the game here for Thomas More.
Well, that's what makes CMU a really hard matchup is between Cook and Canada, you have 2 point guards.
Yeah.
And they're always pass first in their mentality on the court.
So a couple of shots here for Alex Smith, who hits the first, an 88% free throw shooter. A junior small forward from Cincinnati, Ohio. A lot of Cincinnati hometowns here for this Thomas More roster, where they get a lot of their talent.
Venture a guess, there's a ton of talent there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got 2. You got the University of Cincinnati. You got Xavier that survived today. Yeah, a couple of schools down there. Kennedy lost her dribble. She had to give it up to Johnson. Gets it back. Little give and go. Floats it down low. Johnson. 5 on the shot clock. Lost the dribble along the baseline. Picks it up. 2. And a travel.
She shuffled her feet down in the corner there, trying to turn around and make the pass. They're collapsing on her. The Saints collapsing defense on her. And Alex Smith has enough height to where she's a pretty good matchup. And Brenner as well. When Brenner and Smith collapse on her, that's a pretty good defensive matchup for them.
Yeah, you got Kelly Brenner in the game as well now. She's waiting in the near side corner. A kick out. That's Maggie Jones who got her first touch on the basketball. That one almost deflected away. And they get it down to Brenner. Under 10 on the shot clock. And a behind the back dribble by Zoe Barth. That's going to go against.
That'll go against Cook on a hold.
Cook, okay.
Kind of had her hooked. When she went around her back, she hooked her arm there a little bit.
Now here comes Robin Beck.
And in the, I think it was the quarterfinal game against Marion, Beck subbed for every position on the floor at one point or another. She can fit in wherever she needs to, and defensively she can fall in wherever she needs to.
6'2" senior forward from Dallas, Texas is Robin Beck.
And a very good rebounder.
Almost has that, Damon, oh, there you go, there it is. She almost has that Draymond Green type. Really, you see that with a lot of players in the NBA nowadays, or basketball in general is almost becoming a positionless sport.
It kind of is. Everybody wants to shoot the three.
Yep.
Everybody wants to, not everybody wants to defend well, but the ladies do, which is why we enjoy this game so much.
Kennedy gives it up to Spiegel. Gives it off to Bakarova, lost her defender, and then tries to feed it again to Natalia Spiegel. And Spiegel runs into a Saint and whistled for the foul.
The Saints do a wonderful job of anticipating contact coming their way, and they just plant their feet in the cement and stay.
That's already, the third offensive foul called against the Eagles here?
I think you're right. Yes, it is.
2 against Anna Massenet, and that's why she's been on the bench for a little while. Simon gives it up. Here's a 3 on the way from Brenner. She splashes it home. Kelly Brenner shoots 46% from beyond the arc. Shows off the range there. Just like that, we're tied at 11. Bakarova drive with the left hand, doesn't fall. Under 2.5 minutes to go here in this opening quarter. And a defensive foul here against CMU.
That's Cook's second. And what you see is a different game here, Connor. As soon as Leah Johnson went to the bench, the Saints started attacking a little deeper and a little deeper here, creating some foul shot opportunities, knowing they're already in the bonus.
And a technical foul is going to be called. Mike Davis very upset with that call. They will, looks like, keep Simon at the line for these free throws. She is an 84% free throw shooter. Unless they want to switch out Barth, who's at 87%, but it looks like they'll keep it with Simon.
Simon is a just gritty player. She does a couple of things great, but she does everything really well.
Simon will go to the line and shoot the technical fouls.
And honestly, when you're choosing Barth between Simon here, you're kind of splitting hairs, 84 to 87%.
Right.
You want to go with, well, I guess she's not on the floor. As I said, Rachel Martin up there at 84% as well.
You want Otani or do you want Trout?
Exactly. Pick your poison. Might as well give Simon these free throws. Just trying to let her get in the rhythm for the other 2 she has to shoot here eventually.
It's going to be a big swing in the game early.
Yeah. There's first. Second.
I mean, the fact of the matter is you can't be totally upset at that call because it's been called both ways as a block and a charge already. So you have to know that if there is contact underneath the basket, something's going to be called by the crew.
Right.
They've set that right out of the chute here.
So okay, they had Simon shoot her initial 2 free throws. They're going to have now Barth shoot the other 2. So they will play the percentage points here. And Barth makes them both. So, again, do you want Otani or do you want Trout?
Otani threw his fastest pitch in his career last night. Did you see that?
Yeah, 102. Yeah, but the World Baseball Classic doesn't matter, right? That's what I was told.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want Curry or do you want Thompson? So the Saints already 4 points on the board in this possession and a chance to make it 6, maybe even 7. Or that would be a huge, huge swing. Already is a big swing.
Yes.
Down low, and not getting the shot to fall is going to be Simon, and the rebound is out of bounds off of the Saints. And CMU gets the ball back, but now suddenly trailing by 4.
Thankfully, the college game is different. If you didn't know, here in Iowa,
Back for 3.
if you're a coach and you get a technical, you have to sit the rest of the game. You can't get up off the bench.
Oh.
You may not have seen that happen in the game you've called yet, but we loosely kind of call it around Iowa the seatbelt violation.
The only time I saw a coach get a technical was our good friend, Mr. Nelson Wilson. And it was like the last minute of the game anyways. That one you probably have to glue him to his seat because he'd still probably come out of it.
No kidding. Ellie will be on the call with Daniel next.
Yeah. So you get to listen to his fiery personality. Maggie Jones can't get the floater to go along the baseline. Bakarova.
Eagles need to get her a look or two here in the first quarter. She's only shot once, and it wasn't her shot at all.
Well, she'll get a second shot, and it lips out. But a good offensive board and a finish from Robin Beck. Averages 4.5 rebounds a game. She's already got a couple to her name here tonight. Got her first points on the board as well. Kick to the corner to Jones. A long three on the way, but left a tad short for Alex Smith. Here come the Eagles. They trail by a bucket. They could use one here. A bounce pass into the Saints bench. Here comes Leah Johnson back into the game with her pair of fouls.
She does have the, I think she's just got one.
Oh, she's only got one?
She's got one.
Okay.
But you can tell the difference when she's not on the floor. They just know she's going to contest everything inside.
Not only that, just contest everything inside defensively and offensively.
Yes.
We have seen the Saints defense change when she's in the game. As soon as she touches the basketball, there are 2-3 blue jerseys around her at that. Riley Turner back into the game as well here for Thomas More. And another three is going to be thrown up and again left a little bit short by Smith. For a second, the offensive rebound was handled by Turner, but CMU will take it away and a foul attached to it. Shot clock is now off at 19.2 left to play here in this first quarter. A 2-point lead for the defending champs. Cook walks it up the floor. Eagles happy to take the last shot here. Beck at the free throw line. A little jumper, doesn't get the friendly roll. Thomas More comes away with the rebound, and they will dribble it out. A shot there by Kennedy, just getting the face to assure there won't be a half-court heave. Entertaining first quarter. It's a 2-point lead for Thomas More at the end of our first 10 minutes here from Sioux City, Iowa.
Campus will help me to get a job, get my master's, to prepare myself for the world.
It offers students a tremendous amount of opportunity to get real-world experience.
We see Christian students, non-Christian students. We see people from every walk of life.
It's such a good place to be.
It kind of reminds me of home. Your teachers actually look out for you here. You feel invited as soon as you walk in.
You're not going to find any better place to help students achieve what they want.
The thing I love about Clark is that you're never just one thing. I'm not just a student, I'm a future doctor. I'm an athlete on a history-making team. I'm a community member supporting the causes I care about. I'm a friend, a neighbor, a leader. At Clark, you can become anything. What will you be? Be you at CU.
Saints have a 2-point lead over the Central Methodist Eagles, but the Eagles will possess the basketball first here in this second quarter. First of our two semifinal games here tonight. Dakota State and Clark match up next. A chance to punch their ticket to the championship. Pass down low to Johnson. Only one blue jersey around her, and her pass back out, or kick out to Kennedy, slips through her hands. Plenty of time on the shot clock here. Nice spin move from Kennedy, can't get the fall. Johnson cleans up the board. She can't get it to go. Boy, a couple of really good looks there for the Eagles to try and tie this one up. Couldn't get either of them to fall. Backdoor cut, oh, it looked like it was there, but didn't go for it. And now backdoor cut wide open is Riley Turner. Well, why try thread the needle on one when you can have, just play pitch and catch right there.
Absolutely beautiful play.
Fantastic design, great cut. Along the baseline, losing her dribble is Cook. Flings it out and somehow finds Robin Beck. Now a three is going to be on the way and knocked down by Bakarova.
And that's exactly what they need. They have to get her on track because she can hit that in back-to-back fashions here or really hit big shots when they need it.
The Saints went from having a nice double team along the baseline and a long three knocked down by Alex Smith. Well, they answer back. Bakarova, good crossover, nice pass to Johnson. And she lost her dribble after putting on the floor once.
That's a 5 seconds. Great defense, and she's been very undecisive with the basketball just about every time in the post, even though I truly believe she knows that they can't stop her if she drops steps with a dribble to the basket. She's just got to make her decision or know getting the basketball to just go.
Almost have a plan once it hits your hands. 4-point lead here for the Saints, but yeah, it's like she catches it, then tries to decide what to do. And no, at least not on the floor, and won't see her maybe for a little bit. Pass down low into the paint, turn around with the left hand, doesn't fall. Rebound tipped around, eventually picked up by Turner. Oh, Leanna Massanet, though, she's got 3 fouls. Nice drive. The scoop shot doesn't fall, and again, a rebound tipped off the hands of Johnson and out of bounds. The ball stays with Thomas More.
And one thing I pointed out earlier, Connor, was that Thomas Moore's got to get really good shots because the second chance opportunities aren't going to be there. They're being out-rebounded 14-6 already through a quarter.
So again, it's a CMU team, very good rebounding team, and whistle on the floor.
Turnover, it was a travel, and I think that was just their first turnover of the game. So they've taken care of the ball pretty well.
The two teams that like to create chaos and turnovers. Bakarova, nice find down low and unable to finish is Kennedy. Good pass ahead. Rachel Martin gives it to Turner. Eventually they'll swing it around. Saints try to add to their 4-point lead. Ball on the ground and ripped away. Nice shot by Spiegel. And here come the Eagles. Cook drives baseline. Whoa, somehow just slid around a couple of Saints. The rebound tips off of Johnson's hands. Eventually bounces its way to Bakarova, who's able to finish with a nice floater.
Well, she's so good that she can shoot the long three and she can drive very well. She's got a very soft touch around the rim.
Eagles, feels like they've had a lot of good chances at the rim. They just have not been able to finish. Dribble drive has worked very well. Down low to Smith. Kick out. Three on the way. Nothing but net for Riley Turner. Usually shoots only 25% from deep, but that time Turner hits one out of her usual 4. Down low, Johnson. Nice move up and under, but again can't get it to go. She was able to split through a Saints double team. And fighting for the rebound is Spiegel, but it'll go out of bounds. And the ball goes back to the Saints after a nice defensive stand. They lead by 5.
Central Methodist turned the ball over 6 times already, Connor, so that's something they have to clean up a little bit. As we look at this game getting a little deeper, they've got to clean up their fouls and they've got to clean up their turnovers.
Fouls definitely a big part of this game here for Central Methodist. Cook has 2. Massenet's got 3. She still remains on the bench, and I'm not sure we're going to really see her anytime soon. There's Madison Vickers into the game. She throws up a hook shot that doesn't fall. Now Bakarova running. She'll turn it around. Johnson gives it up. Here's Cook. All right, use Johnson as a screen. Now drives. Kick out. Corner. Kennedy. Just drives into a double team. Under 10 on the shot clock. A floater with the left hand doesn't go, but a rebound for Cook. Shot clock didn't reset, never hit the rim, and they're going to count it. Or no, did they say it went off? They're going to call a foul?
No, I think they're going to go to the monitor and they're going to see if it hit the rim. And if it did, obviously that play will stand.
Yeah.
In a national semifinal game, you can go to the monitor and get it right.
Yeah, I would hope so.
That's
especially a 5-point game, and Eagles could use all the points they could get right now with Massenet on the bench. She has 7, and they had 9 when she left. They've had 9 since. Again, later tonight, 8 p.m. start time, you have the Clark Pride out of the Heart of America Conference, same as these Eagles and Dakota State. So Heart of America well represented here in these semifinals.
Absolutely right. That game has the makings of a 96-94 game. They both love to get up and down the floor and score points in bunches. Both of them play good defense. I'm not saying that, but it could be one of those run and gun type of games that the scoreboard could be broken by the end of it.
We definitely saw that the other at Dakota State and Indiana Wesleyan. That was a really fun game.
Yes,
Dyer hit the three with about 4 seconds left to play. Had
Like the
plenty
Furman
of
three
thrill.
from yesterday. Call on the floor stands.
There you go.
Says Mr. Referee. And I told him at some point in this tournament I would let the viewers know that he's so fast, all you can see is the light shining off his head. You don't see anything else, it's just a flash.
That's exactly what he asked you to say, huh?
Yeah. Well, I told him that. We were sitting up watching the game the other night in the stands, and he was right there. And I said, that's what I'm going to tell everybody. He said, you know what, I like that.
So there was also a foul attached to it, and Cook is able to knock it down to make it a 3-point play and a 2-point game.
Foul went to Emily Simon.
That's a big call there that stood.
Yes, it is.
That's 3 points that wiped out had that ball not touched the rim. And here's Simon with the ball. Kick out and 3 on the way and knocked down. Courtney Hurst.
She's so fun to watch shooting from out there. Her muscle memory on her three-point shot is just terrific.
She got that off quick. Very quick trigger for Hurst. Cook gives up Spiegel, finds Bakarova, down low to Johnson, throws up a shot, gets the roll, had the touch. And a timeout is quickly going to be taken by Mike Davis and the Central Methodist Eagles. And they're 35-0. They were perfect in conference play. Granted, there's pressure, JB, once you get to the semifinal round, but you almost feel like it's one of those where maybe just 1 or 2 losses mixed in there would alleviate some of that pressure. I don't know how much pressure there is to have an undefeated season, but
well, they barely made it here. Let's be fair. Dakota Wesleyan took them to the absolute brink in the round of 64 final, 57-53.
Yep.
And I think that probably refocused them in a nice way, because before that, their closest game was 10 back on the 27th of February against Clark, but you had some 50-point games, some 40-point games, some 45-point games before that, and then a 6-point game against Texas Wesleyan, a 4-point win over Marion. This team is very, very battle-tested.
Here's the other thing, and like you said, battle-tested, but when does adversity hit you? Obviously, 35-0 now. You feel pretty good, but you have Massanet, your leading scorer, on the bench with 3 fouls. Probably, arguably not going to see her again for a while. Simon throws up a 3 and knocks it down.
The Saints as a team just have no fear of throwing up the three-pointer.
No, hand in her face. There's been multiple hands and faces from the three-point line, and they just chuck it up there because why not? Bakarova
they like the
able to
percentages.
Yeah.
And for their shooters, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Kennedy. Foul's going to be called on the floor. That's going to go against Madison Vickers, the junior small forward from Covington, Kentucky.
And I think if you're Coach Hunt's in that situation, he's going to look at that, go ahead and play that defense on Johnson. Make sure she knows that you're there. Don't let her have those easy baskets underneath. And that's why I think he's gone a little deeper in the bench already than he has in previous games, because the other team hasn't had the post presence of Johnson.
Nice take by Bakarova. Change of speeds there in the lane. Took about a half step where she just kind of put it into a lazy jog and then took off running, and Johnson puts the hands on Alex Smith and is whistled for the foul.
And that's what she doesn't want, is a foul that far away from the basket.
Especially for number 2.
Yes.
And she's going to hit the bench, and Robin Beck comes back in.
And in the game against Texas Wesleyan, Johnson had 3 fouls, I think, before halftime, and Robin Beck played some really good minutes. So she knows what she's doing coming off the bench.
What a nice weapon to have, especially if, like you said, she plays every position. So if your team gets into foul trouble, just, all right, throwing Robin. Dribble drive for Barth. Nice cut and a nice feed. It's Simon with the finish, Barth with the assist.
It's about the third or fourth time they've used that backdoor cut, and it's only worked when Johnson isn't in there because she pretty much sticks in the paint to play defense.
Bakarova for three. That does not go, and a rebound comes into the hands of Zoe Barth, her third rebound of this game. A three. Knocked down by Alex Smith. I feel like a broken record every time the Saints come down the floor. It's pretty much a three, a three, a three, but they are shooting 50% from deep, 7 of 14. A tip pass, and back a roll.
Hustle by Canada.
Yeah. And a foul on the floor, away from the ball. I believe that's
Martin
going to go on Martin. Yep.
Got tangled up with Spiegel in there.
Thomas More has taken 24 shots from the field. 14 have been from beyond the arc.
That's what they do.
They've made 10. 7 have been threes. But, I mean, yeah. It's not like this is a surprise.
No, it is not.
But then at some points, too, the numbers are just so mind-numbingly amazing that you just sit there and...
Well, it's the overall consistency of doing it now over 33 games. They're just that good of shooters.
It's built them a 9-point lead. A dribble drive and a nice finish.
You know, Cook doesn't... She does score in double figures, but she's a pass-first guard. And up until this point in the tournament, she hasn't been asked really to score, so it's kind of fun to watch her take over that role.
Defensive player of the year, and sometimes that kind of puts in your mind that, okay, defensive player can't really score, but yet Cook is, defensive player of the year, also a really good scorer.
Yeah.
Some good defense by Cook right there, but a nice backdoor cut for Rachel Martin, and again, Barth just able to find her. Eyes are always up.
Absolutely.
Dribble drive and an offensive foul.
And if that's Cook, it's her third, and I think it is.
Yep.
It is. That's her third. And another weapon. The other thing that the Eagles have got to be aware of here is Lillard will come in maybe for the first time this tournament, Connor, but they're getting into the habit here early. You can't exchange a 3 for a 2 every time down. You got to get some stops and cut into that lead.
Audrey,
because the Saints aren't going to stop shooting threes.
No, they're not. Why would they?
No.
At this point. Audrey Graham checks into the game, a 5'7" junior guard.
And their leading scorer, Zoe Barth, has 3 free throws.
Yep, and there's the first bucket of the night as she's able to get right around Audrey Graham. They saw Graham come into the game for Cook, put their best scorer on her and said, go score, and she did. Some foul trouble here for CMU. And trouble on the scoreboard as they trail by 11. Kennedy dancing. Hands it off, Bakarova. Almost lost it, stripped away. Ball on the floor and a foul. That's going to go against Barth.
Yeah, her
second one, yep. And she'll check out. And adding a little bit of size here now in Kelly Brennan.
You can tell how, over a career, how battle-tested these two coaches are. They're just pretty calm, you know.
5 seconds. Another 5-second call. This one on the inbounds pass, the other one, and a timeout, and a full one going to be taken by CMU. They trail by 11 with 1:44 left to play in this first half as the Thomas More Saints been playing well. We'll take a break here in Sioux City, Iowa.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. And the First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
$11-point lead for the Saints and the basketball with 1:44 until halftime. Do the Eagles have an answer, and can they find some momentum at the end of this half and heading into the locker room? Or do the Saints keep piling it on?
They're a foot on the gas team.
Yes, they have not taken it off. A kick out and a quick three and knocking it down. Courtney Hurst, I mean, the ball is out of her hand in a split second. As soon as it hit her hand, she was already shooting it. Bakarova, and look at that help defense. Here's Audrey Graham. Kick out to Kennedy. Trying to get the ball to Bakarova on that double screen pass to Beck. Rises up to get it. Fadeaway jumper. Nice. That's a nice shot from Robin Beck.
Really soft touch.
Yeah.
It makes it look easy.
That was just a good post move because it started, took a hard half step, back down her defender, and then the nice soft touch fading away. Simon drives to the right, spin, Bakarova the block. And a tip basketball out of bounds. That's good hustle there from Alex Smith to keep that possession for the Saints. And a timeout is going to be taken by the Saints.
Yeah, he's going
to,
you know, it's an easy timeout for him to take because you got 8 on the shot clock. You have the Eagles teetering on the rope a little bit here going into halftime. So every possession really is big. So you pull your team over, you drop a nice inbounds play with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. You remake them aware of that situation. And if they can come out of here with another basket and a stop, the momentum is clearly all going into the Saints locker room.
They already have a lot of it. And again, this is a team that, this is a business trip for them. For a lot of teams, it's an honor to come to Sioux City, come play at the Tyson Event Center. Saints have played here, they've succeeded here, they won a championship here last season. Try and make it to the championship game for a 3rd consecutive year. And what would be final year in the NAIA. Under 5, Simon is going to be blocked.
Great defense.
Great D. Spiegel is able to get her hand on it. Shot clock turned off. Eagles can hold for the final shot.
A key possession for them.
Yeah.
They need a basket here.
They can try to pull it to within 10 or single digits with a long one. Kennedy dribbling it around, waiting for something to set up. Crossover. Kick to the corner. And Graham, a 3, does not fall. It'll be a 41-29 game as we hit intermission here in our first semifinal contest at the Tyson Event Center. It's the Saints 41, the Eagles 29, as you're watching the NAIA Network.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
The landscape of sports is changing. AI is the next evolution. We're bringing it to fields and gyms everywhere with Huddle Focus. Just mount it, set it, and forget it. Multiple lenses, AI player tracking, automatic recording, or record on the fly with the Focus app. Instant uploads and flexible live streaming options. AI is changing sports. Use it to your advantage. Visit huddle.com/focus today.
First time I picked up a Spartan TF ball, I knew it was built different. You know that feeling from that first moment on, it never leaves your hand. It raises you, lifts you to new heights, got you doing things like that. And once you're hooked, ain't nothing gonna stop that. It teaches you to be a student first, to lay it all out, just to do it again.
And again.
From the moment you pick up a TF ball, it's always there for you. Now do something with it.
Did you know only 2% of college graduates feel that they've had a magical college experience? At St. Thomas University, we see the magic happening every day. When your professor becomes your mentor and learning becomes your passion. When you join a student organization and meet your friends for life. When your classes and activities prepare you for the real world and a successful career. At STU, our students live the magic, and their college experience leads to limitless possibilities. Visit stu.edu today.
I have a little birthday message for you from someone too.
I heard you really love basketball. You're a good shooter and a good dribbler. Happy birthday, MJ, and I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It's more than an education. It's more than a degree. William Penn University is alive with opportunity. Opportunity in a diverse student body. Opportunity in a staff that works with your budget. Opportunity in over 30 programs of study. Opportunity in a classroom where your voice is heard. Find your future and the opportunities waiting for you. Start your planning today at wmpenn.edu and see why William Penn University is alive with opportunity.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in emotions around, oh, I feel good, or I feel like I'm getting better, or I feel like I'm getting worse. But having data, big data, over a long stretch of time allows you to actually see your work come into fruition in the form of progress. It just allows you to create a better perspective over your progression. To ignore it entirely is doing yourself a disservice because it's a resource that's available to you.
After 100 years, why are we still pushing for more? Because at Thomas More, we're inspired to help you create and live a fuller life. That means creating more opportunities for you inside the classroom and out. Programs that lead to something more than a job, a fulfilling career, and expecting more from our faculty and staff to help give you the opportunity to become the remarkable person you were created to be. Thomas More University. Make it more.
Welcome back to the Tyson Events Center here in Sioux City, Iowa. Connor Ryan alongside me is Justin Barker. 41-29, that is our score at the break. And it's the defending champion, Thomas More Saints, with a 12-point lead for Central Methodist, and the Eagles trying to punch their ticket to the championship round for the first time in school history. When you take a look at the stats, you can see really not that big of a difference in terms of the shots on the floor, field goals in general. Thomas More is only shooting about a percentage and a half better than Central Methodist, but the big difference right there, those three-pointers where the Saints 8 of 15, 53% from beyond the arc, whereas the Eagles at 2 of 7 and a 28.6%. And then free throws as well. You see the 100% there for the Eagles, but that's only on one free throw attempt. They're just 1 of 1. They have not been able to get to the line. The Saints, on the other hand, 7 of 8. They have been able to get to the line with some consistency. And the turnovers as well. Selected very heavily there with the Eagles turning it over 8 times. The Saints playing a pretty clean game with just 2.
Yeah, they are. And that's one thing they pride themselves in, is taking care of the basketball. And that gets them good opportunities on the other end of the floor. And for them, that's opportunities beyond the arc. They've almost conceded already in this first half the fact that if Leah Johnson's in, they're not crashing. They're not driving the paint. Yep. They're going to make the extra pass. They're going to try to use the perimeter. They've obviously done a terrific job of that, and they don't really need to change that game plan. But I think when Johnson does come back into the ball game and Massanet is back into the ball game, I would be taking my best dribblers and I would be going right at them. Try to pick up that next foul. Try to get them right back to the bench, because that's going to be a key. This is you talked about adversity for Central Methodist earlier, and this is a completely different kind of adversity for a good team, in that they probably haven't had many games where 3 of their starters have had to sit most of the first half. You might have 1 on occasion, maybe even a second, but 3 key cogs in their offense where they're not able to take, the top scorer. You can't replace equally on any team in that situation. So that's what they're finding. They're struggling a bit offensively to find their game. And having Johnson off the floor has opened up so many things for the Saints, including that backdoor cut. I think it's 4 baskets they've got on the backdoor cut. They've executed it to perfection. They've done it every time with a bounce pass, so they went with a high percentage option. They're getting that basket. Their guards do a wonderful job of passing around the ball. So it's going to be an interesting second half.
And as you watch the highlight package here, I mean, here's the other thing. If you're Central Methodist, you're sitting in there saying, okay, we got to stop the three-point shot. For a lot of teams, you can sit there and go, okay, we got to focus on these 1 or 2 people. For Thomas More, who are you going to stop? Who are you going to focus on to go ahead and try to stop the three-point shot?
5 different players have hit a 3 for Thomas More.
I mean,
6 have attempted a 3, so you pretty much have to know. And Maggie Jones can hit the 3. She's done that in tournaments past. That's not something she's adverse to either. So you have a team full of shooters. Maybe they do bring the defense out just a little more. Yes, that makes you a bit more susceptible to those backdoor cuts and some easy baskets underneath the rim. But I think they'll take that right now, because I think we mentioned it, trading 3s for 2s isn't going to be a mathematical equation that they can put up with. And that's what's happened so far here in the first half, when you have the Saints nailing 3s at a near record pace.
And you got Zoe Barth, again, the leading scorer for this team. Usually shoots about 40% from beyond the arc. She hasn't even attempted one yet tonight. So again,
hadn't even looked at one.
Because she hasn't had to. She's been really facilitating the ball. She's got a couple of assists to her name. And you look at that part as well at the assist column. Again, it's, what do we got? 3, 6, 7 different Saints with an assist. So overall, they are playing an unbelievable team game here tonight.
Well, Connor, they've assisted on 11 of their 13 baskets. That's an incredibly high number that makes coaches so happy. Central Methodist has assisted on 5 of their 13 baskets, but when you get an 11 of 13 kind of stat, that shows you the way they're moving the basketball around, but it also shows you that they really don't care who makes the basket. I mean, that's in stone right there. They don't care.
As we look at the individual scores here, you got Courtney Hurst and Emily Simon with 9 to lead the Saints. Alex Smith has come off the bench and poured in 8. Riley Turner's got 5. Zoe Barth has 5. Brenner has 3. Then you look over at Central Methodist. You have Cook, who's got 9 to lead the way. She's 4 of 7 from the field. She's also got 5 rebounds, but 3 fouls. Bakarova's got 7 points on 7 shots. She's made 3 of them. Massenat's got 7 points very quickly, but she also picked up 3 very quick fouls. Beck has 4, and then Johnson, 1 of 4 from the field. She's got 2, 3 rebounds, But again, 2 fouls, and those are 3 big names in foul trouble: Cook, Messinat, and Leah Johnson. Again, not saying that the Eagles have not faced adversity all this season, but when you're 35-0, you've faced adversity less than other teams have and fewer times. And like we said, this is a tough combination here. Arguably 3 of your best players in pretty big foul trouble against a really good Saints team, and you're trailing by 12 at halftime.
Yeah, you want a situation where if your players are in foul trouble, you have a forgiving team on the other side. And that's not Thomas
You
More.
don't have that, no. Not only a Thomas More that is clicking on all cylinders here tonight. The day off, it seems to have given them done a lot of good for them.
They really have, and you know, I like watching teams coming out of the locker room to see their body language, and Thomas More just kind of brings an air about them back onto the floor. They all kind of have a sparkle in their eye, like, okay, we're ready to go. You know, it would be nice to say we made the semifinals or to play with the championship, but that really doesn't count. We want more. And you also, the way that Central Methodist came back out on the floor, is kind of happy to see some smiles on faces of the young ladies. They know they are far from out of this game. They are too good to even panic. And that's one thing they haven't done. They've been pressed here in the first 2 wins to get to the semifinals, and they never panicked.
I was going to say they're down by 12, but I mean, you're going to see more of Leanna Messinat as well, a Heart of America Player of the Year, and averages 17 a game. So you got to think she's going to have a run in her as well. So we'll take a quick break before our second half. 41-29 our score. The Saints are on top as we look to punch our first ticket to the championship round here in Sioux City.
There's a beat in all of us. It drives us, it inspires us, and it pushes us through. It is there in preparation, it is there in battle, it is there in defeat, and in success. It's the engine, it's our guide. And this beat is my own. This beat is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water, hydration for athletes.
A 12-point lead for Thomas More as we are about to start this second half of play. It'll be the Saints to possess the basketball first. They will punch. Oh, go ahead, JD.
No, I was going to say, if you're the Saints, Connor, you know a run's coming.
Yes.
You have to plan on it. You have to know that it's coming. With the starters back on the floor for Central Methodist, they are going to make a run. You have to withstand that run and make one of your own.
Connor Ryan, Justin Barker alongside with me. There's that backdoor cut for the Saints, but this time the Eagles wise to it. Cook able to tip it away. That would probably be an adjustment I'm sure they talked about in that locker room. Was maybe, look, we weathered the storm with the three-pointers. We don't think they can shoot 53% from deep again with hands in their faces. Bakarova, a nice defensive play, and gets the rebound because of it, but also got to shut down the backdoor passing lanes. We get our first look at Leanna Messinat for the first time since the first quarter. She picked up 3 very quick fouls, 2 of them in the offensive variety. And she dribbles to the right. Kennedy. Back to Messinat, pump fake, step back, 3 from the corner. That will not find a home. Ball's on the ground. A tussle for it, ripping it away was Kennedy. Finds Bakarova. Nice hustle play there from the Eagles.
And you can look at it another way for the Eagles is the fact that Nana Messinet's legs are fresh.
Right. They have made it a 10-point game again. Simon. It's Bakarova. Another nice defensive play by Bakarova. And then she gets run into. And a whistle.
It's a back-to-back stops here for the Eagles. This is where a run starts.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you're the Eagles, best time to strike is after Thomas More just sat in the locker room for 15 minutes. And also switching sides. At times that matters. The way Thomas More is shooting basketball, I'm not really sure it will. Johnson draws a triple team, can't hit, gets her own miss, puts it back up and in. As soon as Leah Johnson touches the basketball, it's a swarm of blue jerseys all around her.
But she knows that she's taller and stronger in that position, and she can win the battle every time.
Now, we talked about it earlier, her decisiveness. There she was decisive. She just went right for it and put it up and missed, but got her own miss and finished.
And she will do that a lot if it doesn't go in.
A nice move, but better recovery by Cook. Johnson comes down with the rebound. As unable to hit it is Zoe Barth.
She and Bakarova just imposing their will on the first 3 defensive stands.
Yeah. Kennedy, a high dribble, gets it back from Johnson, then feeds it back to Johnson. There's that double team, splits it, missed, gets her own miss. Ball then comes down and a jump ball.
Good hustle by Rachel Martin there defensively. And like we said earlier, she does have a tendency to put the ball out in front of her a little too much sometimes. That's where Martin took advantage.
That's the only way that Rachel Martin should be able to get to that basketball. She's giving up 11 inches on Leah Johnson, almost a full foot, and somehow was able to pull that one away. And a block. Alex Smith gets her hand on it. That was a nice setup play. Cook had a wide open look, but a good block. Martin thought about a 3, but instead Thomas More will just pull it out. Now a dribble drive by Barth, and she is stripped. That was a nice play
Cook's
from
hands
Cook.
And feet are so fast. She made a few drives leading up to this game that I just feel like if she puts it in her mind, I'm going to the hoop this time, good luck stopping me, she can do it. And same defensively.
You see why she's Defensive Player of the Year.
No question.
Her mind and her hands are quick.
Yes, they are.
Martin lost her dribble. Kennedy is able to take it away. She doesn't have numbers, and eventually will slow it up. That was a 3-on-5. For a second, I thought she was not going to care and just go for it. Johnson puts the ball on the floor, fights to get that one up, misses, gets her own miss, then draws the whistle. Well, she's strong in the paint.
My goodness, is she ever.
I mean, I get she brings the ball down, but very rarely ever actually able to get the ball away from her. She creates a lot of jump balls by doing so, but man, it is hard. Once she gets the ball in the paint, it's hard to get it away from her. Yeah, she hits the first free throw, 74% shooter at the line.
I was listening to a game on the way here. PJ Carlissimo was the color commentator, and he was ready to make a comment in between free throws. He said, "I'll wait." So I was going to do the same thing and say Leah Johnson is a very good free throw shooter as she hits both. She has a great touch from the free throw line.
Yeah, that she does, and a whistle right about at the timeline.
Didn't want to jinx her. The guy that PJ was talking about in whatever game it was, he was a 95% free throw shooter on the season.
That's very good.
I don't
exceptional.
think there was much of a broadcaster jinx there. But.
I did that the other night. Kennedy picks up her first foul. I think that was a Dakota State game we were calling. It hit, what, like 26 in a row?
Yeah,
and missed?
As a team, they were at a 26 for 26.
6-point game, so the Eagles have made some adjustments at halftime, and they are working. Pass down low, and a shot does not fall for Hurst. Good defense from Massanet. She did a good job just keeping her hands straight up, didn't dive into Hurst, and she's got 3 fouls on her. Yet to see her hit a bucket. She's only had 1 shot so far this half, and a nice floater off the window and down for Cook.
Just penetrating and finding a step. Like I said, her first step is terrific. So she got into the paint and opened up an opportunity for herself. The big thing the Eagles have done defensively here is the Saints have not attempted a 3 yet this half.
And that's a nice finish from Emily Simon. And a technical. Simon hit the bucket. Now, I watched the game against Cumberland. She had like, I don't know how many and one. She's very strong when she drives. So she'll shoot 1, but she always yells. And I think that time, I'm not sure if she was doing it on purpose, but she turned around and kind of yelled in the face of Bakarova. And I think that might be where the technical's coming from. She's a passionate player. And like I said, she does it every time. Can't hit it. And now we'll go down the other way. And CMU is going to send Bakarova to the line, an 84% free throw shooter.
That's pretty good.
So Simon could not hit. And Bakarova hits hers. We have a nice little meeting on the sideline over there. And Bakarova is able to hit both of them. And now the Eagles get the basketball back. It is a 4-point game. It was 12.
Sorry to interrupt you. That was kind of an interesting meeting over there because the head coach of the Saints is right there in the middle of the group. Yeah. But the Eagle players were right there as well. There was no separation.
From I don't know if they were talking strategy. Kind of looked like some people had some wry smiles on their faces. I don't know if they're just having a friendly convo as Messinat throws up a shot, doesn't get it, almost gets her own miss, and the ball goes off of the Saints.
Touched it last, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that conversation was. This is a great game. Where are we getting pizza after? I don't know, maybe.
That's what my dad always told me when the meetings on the mound were in baseball. I was like, what are they talking about? He goes, where are they going to have dinner after the game?
China set for a wedding?
No, exactly.
Candlesticks?
Candlesticks always make a great gift.
Our older viewership will understand that one.
Bakarova can't hit. Missed off to the left, and chasing down the rebound is Martin. They're going through a lot of stuff right now, okay?
I always watch that before opening day.
Being in professional baseball for 8 years, that movie is the closest one to actual professional minor league baseball.
Bull Durham, of course, what we're talking about.
Yeah. Held it like an egg. He scrambled it. We should stop. We could go on and on. Kennedy gets the rebound.
Shoot, we almost got a rain delay in here the other night.
Right, yeah.
Crash Davis was here.
That was my running joke. I walked over there and said, who forgot to put the tarp on the court? Cook. Nice move with the crossover. Somehow weasels her way through. And what a tough finish.
Wow.
She was falling to the floor. She threw the ball up towards the cup. It gets the friendly roll, and she draws the whistle. Look at this. What a play.
I mean, sorry to be giggling, but I don't know the words for that kind of play. That's just spectacular.
Looks like she's favoring that left arm a little bit here as she goes to the line. Cook is a 47% free throw shooter, but she has cut the deficit now to just 2. And she's able to hit.
Heck of a run to start the half here, and it all started with the defense of the Eagles.
Yeah, Bakarova's 2 stops, you're absolutely right. Simon tries to get a screen. Simon then a kick out and a 3 straight away and a deep one at that. Alex Smith.
Her third 3 of the game is absolutely huge. You have to open that back up because for the first 5.5 minutes of the quarter, the 3-point basket was taken away.
I like that play there for CMU. We talked about it at halftime, how they really hadn't gotten to the free throw line very often. Pass it down to Leah Johnson. Johnson immediately just turns around, forces the contact, and says, look, I'm either going to finish or you're going to foul me. One of the two.
That's Smith's 3rd foul, and she's been wonderful off the bench for Thomas More.
Yeah, she's been big.
11.
Just hit that 3. Her and Emily Simon, the 2 leading scorers for the Saints. Cook leads everybody with her 14. Johnson makes both and is rewarded with a trip to the bench. Robin Beck will come into the ballgame. 2-point lead for Thomas More. Again, this was a 12-point game at the break. We were over the halfway point.
You know the run's coming.
And you did say the run was going to come. Thomas More has to find a way to weather it. They still have the lead.
Now they have to answer it.
Yes. Looked like they did with that Smith 3. CMU is able to answer that. Behind the back dribble, taken away. Messinat. One-handed bounce pass. Just a little too far ahead of Kennedy. And then Cook with the quick hands, able to tap that into the scorer's table. Wake up over there, Jamie Miller.
Oh, he's one of the best in the business.
Isn't he?
Yes.
He won, or he was recognized for his years of service in last year's tournament. Fantastic.
He has been a mainstay. Whoa.
Nice drive, just slicing through the defense. Courtney Hirsch got a nice screen, and then she did the rest with the dribble. Able to just slip right on through, and there was nobody home after that. But as it passed down to Beck, I'll finish my thought after this, as Beck is able to get it to go with the left hand.
That's what she does so well, Robin Beck. She just kind of puts herself in the right position. There are comparisons to her, and not attitude-wise, but she's a Dennis Rodman type player to me. She's in the right position to rebound. When a basket is needed, she's in the right position underneath the basket for a high percentage shot. Her defense is terrific. She just does those things well.
Now I do want to point out on that last possession for Thomas More, where Hurst just slices through the defense. Who's out of the game? Leah Johnson. What's the first thing that the Saints do while she's out of the game? Go to the basket. Yeah, it's not hard. If she's in the game, they're doing that. Smith is just lining up for threes. If Leah Johnson is out of the game, I mean, look at that paint. There's no one in there.
Well, yeah, because the Eagles are keeping their defense up around the perimeter, and that's why that's open when Johnson's out of there, because their fifth defender in that case will go up to the perimeter and try to match up defensively with their player.
Alex Smith will dribble it up the floor. She's got 3 fouls against her. Still in the ball game. Gets the ball against Beck. Doesn't use the screen and hands it off to Brennan. Barth, under 10 on the shot clock. Gives it up. Brenner poked away into the sideline, but only 1 second left on the shot clock. Under 3 minutes to go here in the third. It's a 2-point game. It's got to be a quick
need
shot.
To set a nice screen here for their shooter.
Oh, hit the backboard. It was there too. Simon had a couple of steps of separation.
Another good defensive possession for the Eagles, though.
Gives it up. Beck lines up with 3 for the lead. No, doesn't go. And a rebound is going to be corralled by Thomas More. I like the no call there. They were both kind of fighting for position. A kick out 3 on the way. That doesn't go. Long board. Hauled in by the Saints. Another 3. Lips out. Under 2.5. Here's Messinat against Simon. Nice move. Hesitated to the right. Goes left.
Her first basket of the second half.
We're tied up, JB. It was a 14-point lead for the Saints with 1:25 left to play in the first half. They had a 12-point lead at halftime. It has been all Eagles here in the third. Smith has her pocket pick. The ball goes through the baseline. And first time I've seen frustration from Thomas More tonight. Timeout.
Yep. Good timeout.
Yeah, Jeff Hans, the last year's NAIA Coach of the Year, wants to take a timeout, talk things over. We'll take one with him. We got a brand new ball game, folks. 48 all with 2:02 here in the third. This is a fun one.
Help me to get a job, get my master's, to prepare myself for the world.
It offers students a tremendous amount of opportunity to get real-world experience.
We see Christian students, non-Christian students. We see people from every walk of life.
It's such a good place to be.
It kind of reminds me of home. Your teachers actually look out for you here. You feel invited as soon as you walk in.
You're not going to find any better place to help students achieve what they want.
The thing I love about Clark is that you're never just one thing. I'm not just a student, I'm a future doctor. I'm an athlete on a history-making team. I'm a community member supporting the causes I care about. I'm a friend, a neighbor, a leader. At Clark, you can become anything. What will you be? Be you at CU.
Central Methodist is so far in almost 8 minutes of this second half leading Thomas More 19-7. Between the second quarter and the third quarter, things have completely flipped on their head. And credit to Coach Davis and his changes in the locker room. A nice, tough finish at the cup for Zoe Barth. She's got 7.
You go to your best player when you need a basket. So that's a great draw up in the huddle by Coach Hans. He knows what he's doing, but you put it in the hands of your star.
Barth gets the Saints to 50. Fadeaway jumper is going to hit glass before it caught the rim for Beck.
Now after a stop, it's time for the Saints to try to build a run of their own.
Drive by Barth. She'll draw the whistle. No shot on the floor. Beck is going to be called for the infraction. And Leah Johnson getting ready to check in. And now again, watch the Saints offense metamorphosize from dribble drive to, well, if they do dribble drive, they're immediately looking to kick it out. Now here come the long three-point attempts. Simon. There's a three. Brenner, right on cue, doesn't get it. Simon is able to get the loose board, and then she's going to draw the whistle. Who is it going against?
Johnson.
That's on Johnson. That's her third. So you got foul trouble, 3 fouls apiece now for Cook, Massenet, and Johnson. Again, the Saints, you saw it immediately. First shot that they took with Johnson back into the game, a 3 for Brenner. Smith, who has been good from beyond the arc. Swinging it around. Long 3 for Smith, stepping into it, doesn't go. Nice tip, and then finishing it is Brenner. Oh, credit Courtney Hurst there. Comes flying in out of nowhere in a one-handed tip to get it to Brenner.
She gets an assist on that, right?
She should. That's a heck of a play. Under a minute to go, 4-point lead for Thomas More. Cook, quick with the basketball. Tries to feed Johnson along the baseline. Johnson goes up strong, gets the friendly touch.
I have no clue how that pass got there. That was threading a needle.
I was kind of surprised that Cook
even attempted it.
Yeah, because we've seen her finish well at the rim. She wanted to get it to Johnson. Johnson rewards her for it. Smith thought about it. Now lines up a 3. Got it.
She's just not going to miss.
Nope.
When she has that effect of you take a dribble, you step to the side, let the defender go by, and then square up your shoulders. Such a good shooter.
Under 5, Massenet almost lost it. Heaves it up with 1, missed. And a heck of an end to the third quarter here for the Thomas More Saints. Their lead wasn't what it was at halftime, but they're still up by 4 as we head to the fourth quarter here in this semifinal round, and a trip to the championship on the line.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, it's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
Four-point game as we go to the fourth quarter. The Saints, in their final season here in the NAIA, trying to get to the championship game for a third consecutive year and trying to defend their title. Central Methodist trying to get to the big game for the first time in school history. They have been third-place finishers a couple of times. They have not won the big one. It was a good comeback and a good third quarter for the Eagles. They trimmed the deficit from 12 down to 4. And for the most part, too, it really did not pick up any extra big fouls on really arguably their big three. Johnson picked up one, but none on Messinet, none on Cook. Barth. And throws it to her teammates, but they're sitting on the bench.
They have warm-ups on.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Barth unhappy with herself.
But still just the sixth turnover of the game.
And again, they're playing a very clean and efficient game.
Yes, they are.
And they switch into a zone here. Massenet quickly draws a double team. Able to split it, drives to the baseline, goes up with the left hand. Able to get around that double team from the Saints on the wing. Challenge Simon down low and wins it. Barth against Cook. Drives. Nice move by Barth. Rips the ball across Cook's face and finishes off the window.
Just a play where you go layer by layer with the dribble and you get underneath and make your play.
An extended zone here. Driving into it. Kick out Bakarov. And a three. Doesn't get it to fall. Offensive board falls into the hands of Johnson. Once again, gets into Bakarova. Can't hit. Missed it. Through the baseline. Still a 4-point game. Just over a minute into this final quarter.
The rebounding advantage is really closed as well. It's down to 5, 21-16 for Central Methodist. So Thomas More has made some nice adjustments there, but CMU with 9 offensive rebounds. Still got to find a way to limit that and maybe put a hip on Leah Johnson.
The winner plays tomorrow night at 7. Kick out at 3 is going to be blocked. Quickly the other way comes Kennedy. Bakarova back to Kennedy. CMU slows it down. The undefeated Eagles try to keep it that way. Down low, Johnson and Simon and a travel.
She'll take the travel over the charge.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a big whistle there. Kind of held your breath to see what the official, what she was going to do with her hand. She calls the travel. Yeah, she lowered the shoulder into Emily Simon. And the way they've called offensive fouls here tonight, you could have seen it going against Johnson for her fourth. Instead, just a turnover. And a three. A little off the mark, but a long rebound comes into the hands of Rachel Martin. And Hurst has got that quick release. Possesses it again. To the corner, Hurst. From the corner, a little too long, rebound tipped around, and another offensive board and another chance here for the Saints. Third one of this possession.
Brenner and Jones with offensive rebounds this time down, not something you expect from your guard play.
And you're seeing the Saints, they did try to pass it down low, but out of bounds a little too far. Riley Turner was down there. I was about to say, you're not seeing them even try to go to the paint. I mean, it's just little slip screens around the three-point line, see if they can get open. Now they go into that zone again. Johnson out to Massenet, 3 on the way. A little off, rebound.
Good rebound. That'll be 4 on Johnson. I think she got hooked up in there.
Just one of those where Johnson's trying to go for the board. She is going to check out of this game. Robin Beck is going to come back in. Let's take another look at it. Yeah. For Johnson, a tough foul. She's looking up at the ceiling, just trying to grab that basketball, and you're right. That's just a hustle play by Riley Turner.
It is.
Getting her body in there, and on a bad pass taken away by Cook. Up and under, Simon can't get it to go.
Cook couldn't get it to go. Simon defended.
You
had the right players.
I had the right name.
Right,
it's just a little backwards. It's a little bit of a gift there for Thomas More.
No doubt.
Tripped, and Bakarova takes it away. She'll slow it down, gives it to Cook. Lofting pass to Kennedy along the block. Turned away nicely by Turner. Little running hook shot. Kennedy, another nice offensive board. Out to Beck for 3. And won't connect. And Riley Turner once again gets in there for the rebound. The 5'11" freshman from Highland Heights, Kentucky.
Oh, nice drive. Nice drive.
Hurst just couldn't finish. A little too strong. Didn't have the touch. Long lead pass. And a nice little scoop shot for Cook.
It shows the body control that Cook has, because she was going incredibly fast and just went with a little scoop to control her balance and center herself going up to make sure that went off the window and in.
4 minutes gone by here in this final quarter. It's a 2-point game. Hurst tries to make it 5. Nope. Back, can't get the board, but lucky bounce there for CMU. Goes into the hands of Cook. A trio of Saints waiting for the next whistle to get into this ball game. A spin, kick out. Another dribble drive and a floater for Cook. Doesn't go. Beck gets the board. Beck puts it back up and in.
So one thing I really like about this Eagles team, Connor, is when they get the ball in an offensive rebound, they don't bother with a dribble. They go right back up. If they get fouled, they get fouled. Otherwise, they make the basket. That's a really good way to attack it.
Thomas More wants a timeout with 5:16 to go, and we're tied at 56. Robin Beck once again playing some high-quality minutes here for the Eagles. She's got 8 off the bench, and again, those are 8 big points because Leah Johnson in foul trouble with 4, and Beck has been the one that Coach Davis has turned to every time.
Yeah, he does not hesitate, and I don't know if it's a body issue or what with her, but she doesn't sit on the bench, if you notice. She stands behind the bench, and she's ready all the time, so I don't know if she stiffens up by sitting on the bench or whatever, but it's just, Coach, I'm right here, Coach.
Yeah.
Tugging on his coattail. Coach, I'm ready. Coach, I'm ready. Coach, I'm ready. But she brings that attitude to the floor every time she's in. She hustles at every second of the floor, and she's such a great player off the bench. And you have to really point out the fact that she's a special player, because that's a role that she has just taken with and ran.
You take a look now, too, for Thomas More. 9 of 24 from deep. Since halftime, that's 37%. They were shooting above 50 at halftime. They were 7. Yeah, they were 8 of 15.
Yes.
Nice spin move for Smith, which makes them now 1 for their last 10 from deep. That's been a big change in this game. But credit to the Eagles, they've gotten stops. Johnson ready to check back into this ball game with 4 fouls as she makes her way to the scorer's table. Assanet gives it up to Beck. Pump fake. Gets into a crowd. A little mini fadeaway. Almost acts like a pass. And that ball's going to hit the baseline, and it'll go back to the Saints. Thomas More holding a 2-point lead.
Have to take advantage of these empty possessions. Both teams. If you get an empty possession on the other side, you have to take advantage in a game so close. And both teams only have 2 timeouts left. So you're not going to have a lot of stoppages in play in the last 4 minutes here.
Barth. That travel.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and Barth can't believe it. I was going to say, I thought Cook got the ball at their hand, which she did. Barth gets called for the travel. 4:23 to go. Yeah, 2 timeouts left. Only 1 foul here in this 4th quarter, too, so
it's been a really well-played quarter.
It's likely not going to come down to free throws in the bonus.
That's better that way.
Yeah. Assanet kicks it out. A kick to the corner. A wide open look at 3. Can't hit as Cook, but 2 Saints fought for the rebound, and it goes out of bounds off a blue jersey. Barth was jumping in there. And a fresh 20 on the shot clock here for the Eagles. Under 4 to go. CMU trying to tie it up or take the lead. Assanet goes against the screen. Oh, stripped, but it goes right to her teammate Bakarova. A kick out. Kennedy for 3. Left it short. And an offensive board along the baseline. Another possession here for CMU. Oh, nice move from Bakarova, sweeping with the left hand. And we're tied again at 58.
Well, she's got such long arms that she's able to make those kind of plays falling away from the basket. She just kind of curls her hand around, it goes in.
The senior from Minsk, Belarus, and a transfer from the University of Hawaii. It's a long way from home, Hawaii to Belarus. And a whistle.
To Missouri.
Going to go on Cook. I would believe she was the one in there defending it. It will.
Correct.
That is her fourth.
I think it'd be really hard to be a student athlete in Hawaii.
Would you?
No, I really do, because of all the time you have to spend on the mainland away from campus to compete in sports.
Oh, I thought you meant like, you know,
Well,
being lured away from like beautiful weather and
I would
surfing.
love that
Yeah.
part, but being a student athlete, you have to be really special to be a student athlete in Hawaii.
That's true.
There's some cases where
long
the football
travel.
team doesn't even go home.
Yeah, it's
They're
long
gone
travel.
for weeks at a time.
Barth hit the first, she hits the second.
Or you think about basketball, they might have a 4-game road trip or
True.
something just to make it work schedule-wise. So you got to be awfully smart.
See, you're going with the travel side.
No, I like where your head is.
Yeah, I struggle with the Mai Tais.
Oh, I don't have to worry about the athletic side. So.
Yeah, right. That wouldn't be our issue.
No.
We'd struggle with academics because.
Yeah, really.
Cook spills to the floor and a travel.
Because, and that's a great job defensively by the Saints, just to hold your ground. Instinctively, you want to go after the basketball there, but they didn't.
It was a 12-point game at halftime. Thomas More had the lead, but the Eagles, they have fought their way back. But to Thomas More's credit, they have just held on to that slim margin.
Every time they need a big basket, they get one.
Yeah. Behind the back dribble for Barth. You see Johnson way out there by the three-point line, forces a bad pass taken away by Massanet. Here she comes down the floor. Little dipsy-do, throws it up, and that's going to be a defensive foul against Simon. That is her third. And Massanet will go to the line to shoot two. She is a 78% shooter. Massanet was trying to angle to her left.
Saints have done a really good job of controlling Massanet. I know that she's had foul trouble, but here in the second half, she's 2 baskets. So when she's been in the game, she hasn't been the factor that she wants to be.
2 baskets, and credit to her, she picked up those 3 very quick fouls. I don't think she's come out of this second half. Granted, she's pretty rested because she sat most of the first half, but I don't think we've seen her come out.
It's a pretty intense second half for that to be the case.
Yeah.
Though, and you're right, she hasn't.
Can't hit the second, so she can't tie it up at 60-all. 1-point lead for Thomas More. And a pass down low goes to Rachel Martin, but makes a good business decision as she just dribbles away from Leah Johnson. Again, 11 inches of difference on them. Martin, though, is going to challenge her here. Johnson, got the block, but whistled for the foul, and that is her 5th. And she will head to the bench, and that brings in Robin Beck. Johnson couldn't believe it. So she is fouled out of this ball game. And it took, again, Rachel Martin, who's only got 5'4" to Johnson 6'3".
Yeah.
She challenged her and picks up that 5th foul.
Well, and that's about the only situation where you might succeed is that reverse lay-in.
Yeah.
And get her leaning. It's about all you can do. You go straight up, that shot's in the 3rd row.
And this proves big as Martin hits both and makes it a 3-point game because Thomas More has gone cold from deep. Now Johnson out of the game, their offense changes to the dribble drive. They've been a little more successful with that here in this half. Nice pass to Beck. She can't finish a bunny. Smith gets the board, under 2 minutes to play. A drive and a tough finish at the rim for Rachel Martin. She's come up with some big plays in the last couple of possessions here for Thomas More.
She had Canaday off her hip there, and Canaday wasn't able to slide in front of her, so it's a perfect job to just keep going.
On an errant pass from Massanet, taken away by Barth. She almost traveled as well. And Barth hit right there in the passing lane to take it away. 5-point lead. Hurst gives it up. Quick double team comes for Alex Smith. Tries to dribble her way out of it. And a timeout smartly taken by Jeff Hans as Alex Smith was stuck along this near sideline. So 5-point lead here for Thomas More. And again, Rachel Martin challenged Leah Johnson, forces the foul, her 5th. And like I said, now for Thomas More, again, the 3-point shot has kind of faltered here in this second half. Just 1 of 10 since halftime.
No, one. You're right.
I think just one.
One of the, it was originally a 3 for Alex Smith. It later went to review and was a 2.
Okay.
So you're right. She hit the only one very early in the third quarter. But if you're Coach Hans right here, I think the biggest reason why he called the timeout is you have to have a helper. Wherever the ball goes, you have to have a helper because they're going to collapse. They're going to double team on everything. Eagles have 2 fouls before the Saints are going to the free throw line, so they can play extra aggressive defensively with Cook the only one in serious foul trouble at this point.
She's got 4. Again, Thomas More right now. Oh, I thought they were going to take their time. And a whistle, and that's going to be on Kennedy.
But that's how you beat that, is you just go right to the hoop. You have 65 seconds to play, but you know if you're getting points every possession, you're going to win the game.
So that sends Simon to the line.
Simon at the line, 2 shots.
65 seconds left to play in this one. And Simon hits the first free throw. And again, Thomas More has had a good night at the free throw strike. Now 12 of 14. Simon will make it 13 of 15. He's got 12. And the lead up to 7 with just over a minute to play. And a foul on the floor. That's going to go against Martin.
Well, and I think at this point, Connor, you pull your defense out if you're the Saints, and you obviously contest a 3, but the Eagles have only hit 2 threes all game.
Yeah.
So if they're going to be firing, if you don't, just like that, you force a bad shot.
Yeah.
You let them fire.
Yeah, 2 of 16, now 2 of 17.
Yeah. I mean, you let them take that shot every time. If they're going to hurry the 3, instead of trying to manufacture 3-point plays they're more than capable of doing, I almost say give it to them. Of course, that's why I'm not a coach.
Yeah, right. We're going to have a review here and take a look at this one. The only 2 threes that the Eagles have hit came out of the hands of Massanet, who's 1 for 5, and Bakarova, who's 1 for 5.
They've not hit 3 in the second half.
Both teams have struggled from deep here in this second half, and you almost got to wonder if that's just, you're at the semifinals now, tired legs. Even though you did have the day off yesterday, but still, I mean,
I credit to both teams' defense because they pulled out their defense and they've made it so much harder beyond the arc.
Well, and especially Thomas More with this new defense they threw out there just a few minutes ago with the extended zone. They've really tried to shut down that 3-point line for Central Methodist. A 7-point game, 66 to 59. 2 timeouts left for the Eagles, 1 left for the Saints, 56.1. 4 team fouls on the Eagles, so the Saints will go into the bonus on the next whistle, and Thomas More has only committed 2 team fouls, and possession arrow is with the Eagles. And again, we have another one coming up at 8 p.m., as that'll be the second ticket punch to the championship game. Clark Pride out of Central Methodist's Heart of America Conference.
Dubuque
going up against Dakota State,
and
the 6th seed.
Saw some students from Dakota State with a flag and a big contingent. Both of these teams are in it within an easy drive. Madison about 2 hours, and Dubuque about 3.5 from here. So I hope this building gets pretty loud here in the next game.
You got Dubuque is like 3 hours away, the way you drive maybe.
Now 4, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe
less than 4.
I'll give you credit.
No.
If you can make it in like 3.5, I want to ride with you.
No, I'm thinking of Waterloo.
Oh, okay.
My fault. Yeah, Dubuque's a little farther. My fault.
I was like, wow, you make that drive in 3 hours?
No, I don't.
I want to ride with you.
Cedar Falls we can.
Yeah.
3 and change. No, you're right.
You're right. It's manageable. Certainly manageable.
Not a hard drive at all, and both of those fan bases, they just probably got a hotel here and are counting on 2 games.
So they're going to say it was off of the Saints, stays with the Eagles. And Bakarova can't get it to bounce in. Simon rips down the board.
Big rebound by Emily Simon.
Now here's the fouls. That's going to go against Natalia Spiegel.
That'll be the 5th. So,
so the bonus goes.
For the Saints, it's make your free throws.
Yep.
You're playing for another championship.
And going back to the championship game for a 3rd year in a row. To the line will go Barth. And and she's a 87% free throw shooter. We kind of broke down her and Simon earlier when they're at the technical fouls to shoot.
Well, and a note that shouldn't go unnoticed really is when Leah Johnson got that fifth, she was visibly upset, but she did the veteran thing and walked away. And you got to give her a lot of credit for that in the heat of the moment.
I was going to say, because she very much disagreed with the foul. She could have easily said something that, yes, costed her team a couple extra free throws.
Did not say a word.
Nope. Walked, headed right back to the bench. So it's a 9-point game with 47.8 left to play. We'll take a quick timeout as well. Right here in Sioux City as we're trying to wrap this semifinal game up, see who's moving on. Almost 48 ticks left to go here in this semifinal game. It'll be the Eagles inbounding the basketball after the Saints break their huddle.
One timeout left each.
Yep. Possession arrow pointing the way of CMU. It'll be Bakarova to inbound. It's to Massanet. And Massanet was trying to hit Bakarova in the corner. Bakarova went towards the paint. And a turnover. And the ball goes back to Thomas More.
If you look at the Central Methodist team, though, look how young they are.
Oh, yeah.
Up and down the roster. This is a team built for a long time. They'll probably be the favorite going into next season, regardless of what happens here.
I was going to say, you look at Cook, a sophomore.
Bakarova and Beck.
Yeah, so Cook is a sophomore. Massanet's a sophomore. Johnson, a sophomore. Arguably, that's their big three. They have them for another couple of years. So, yeah, this is an Eagles team that, you know, Thomas More, a couple of years ago, when they fell to Westmont in the championship, you kind of looked at the same thing. Very talented roster, but young. And they've come back now these last couple of years, and it's a lot of names. I mean, you've been doing this tournament, you know, right here, JB, that you're like, yep, okay, they're back, they're back.
It's Hurst, it's Simon, it's Barth.
Yeah.
They've been around forever. They seem like they've put up shop here and taken residence.
I don't know what the tax laws are in Kentucky, but perhaps they try to make their their address Sioux City, Iowa.
Dual residency.
Yeah, exactly. Can't hit the second, but it's a 10-point game. Beck down low, Spiegel, nice move, and she's able to get it to go. Nice feed from Robin Beck. And another timeout is going to be taken here by the Eagles with 34.4. That is their last timeout of the game, I believe. Yes, there it goes.
And we'll see if Coach Hans decides to take a timeout and move it into the front court, because he has that option after this timeout. I would play it out.
Right.
But he does have that option.
Again, 34.4.
That Westmont Thomas More championship game was awesome, too. Just awesome.
And that was another, Westmont was another team, because I did their game earlier this week. That's another team that you just see names coming back. I mean, Stephanie Berberabe feels like she's lived here. She's been here forever.
She has. Unfortunately, Westmont moving up.
Yep.
Same with these Thomas More Saints.
And Smith almost lost it. Able to eventually get Martin there. The Saints able to break the timeline, and it'll be Simon who's able to finish. Turns the shot clock off. And a 10-point game. Massanet blocked.
Hurst with a nice block.
Yep. And that will put an emphasis on this one here for the Saints. Martin will try to do it herself with 10 seconds to go. Eagles will get one more shot at it. It'll be the Thomas More Saints as Bakarov can't hit. And there it is. Back to the championship goes Thomas More for a third consecutive season. And their title defense is still alive as Thomas More wins this one by 10. And they're moving on to the championship. They will play that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. They now await the winner of Clark and Dakota State.
Connor, that was the second lowest point total of the season for the Eagles. They won 57 to 53 to come here to Sioux City. The 61 is the second lowest they've scored all year.
Wow. That's an impressive mark by the Thomas More Saints. And again, a team that is all business. They have been in this position before, but it certainly doesn't take away the joy they feel right now as they are going to be moving on to the championship game. Again, they just wait the winner of Clark and Dakota State. As we take a final look here at this one tonight. 10-point win for Thomas More, 71 to 61. For Thomas More, again, the shooting was pretty close. Central Methodist saw theirs tip a little bit in the wrong direction that second half, finishing at 37%. Eagles just could not get going from deep. 2 of 19 in this game from beyond the arc, 10.5%. Thomas More shot 37% from deep at the end of the day, but far cry from when they were shooting about 53% at the break.
Defense was awesome in this game, and both teams were able to do things to the other stars at different points of the game that took them out of it. But it was the fact that at halftime we talked about CMU is going to make a run, and Thomas More has got to answer that run and make one of their own. They have to respond. Well, they responded down the stretch. They came up with some crucial stops, and they got baskets from they got big baskets from just about everybody down the stretch that they needed. And Rachel Martin in the fourth quarter was spectacular. She was everywhere.
Yeah.
She finished with 6 points. I get that, but she was a very important piece down the stretch.
And it felt like her 6 points came at very crucial times. Again, Rachel Martin was a big piece down in the stretch where giving up almost a foot to Leah Johnson. She was the one that drove to the baseline and got Johnson to commit that 5th foul. Alex Smith, too, off the bench, led all scorers with 16. And
2 games in a row.
She was impressive. She's been impressive and a big piece of that run here for Thomas More. Emily Simon finished with 15. Barth had 13. Hurst had 11. 4 different Saints in double digits. Cook finished with 16 in this one. Bakarova had 13. Massanet had 7 really quick to start off this game after tip. She had 5 in that second half, and she did not find the bench in that second half. Johnson had 10 in this game as well. So the Thomas More Saints, again, they are going to move on to the championship round, and they will try to go for back-to-back titles. 3rd consecutive year that Thomas More is going to the championship game, and they await our 8 p.m. start time game between the Clark Pride and the Dakota State Trojans. Should be a fun one, and championship tomorrow night at 7.
It's going to be a great national semifinal number 2 and a great championship tomorrow night, but now Thomas More's record in this championship is 11-1. Their only loss is to Westmont 2 years ago in the championship.
Wow.
They just come here and do what they do.
And take care of business. And again, tonight they had a 12-point lead. CMU made a run. Thomas More didn't panic.
No,
they never went really, until the end, went on a big run of their own. They just kind of kept CMU, I only want to say it at an arm's length, but they just kind of kept them there. CMU did not get to go on another run and take like a 5-6 point lead from Thomas More. They just weathered the storm quite literally, and eventually, were able to come away with the 10 points at the end.
When I just looked at this, the score was tied 4 times, but the lead only changed hands once. Central Methodist was leading. Thomas More took the lead and never gave it back. That's impressive.
I thought at least at one point maybe the Eagles took the lead again, but I didn't realize that. Yeah, you're exactly right. They literally weathered the storm and just never relinquished the lead again.
That's what good teams do, and that's a really good team.
And they are going to go for a second title in a row, their 3rd straight trip to the championship round. Again, now they await the winner of this one. Should be another fun one between Clark and Dakota State, the 6th seed. That'll do it for JB and myself here tonight, and I believe this week, right, JB?
Absolutely, Connor. It's been a pleasure and a blast to share the microphone with you this week. Great job as always.
The honor is always mine. Final score, Thomas More 71, Central Methodist 61. Saints going back to the championship.